Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of November 9th through November 13th, 2020. Okay, and what I would like to do here is I will look at all the major forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, okay, just so we can see what happened this past week, okay, and then I will try to compare it to higher time frames such as the 4-hour daily and weekly, and try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week, okay. So if we start off here, I want to say that this past week, okay, was the U.S. presidential election, okay, and now we see that Joe Biden has been officially elected, presumably, okay. I know there's going to be a fight from the Trump side of the house, but I'm not really here to talk about that so much. But this past Tuesday was the presidential election, and it took all week to finally hear the final results, right? So we saw the U.S. dollar slowly trickle, slowly drop because of this, because there was really no clear decision of who the president was. And then also was non-farm payroll this past Friday, which had a bit of good news for the US dollar, but it was not enough to really give the dollar a boost, okay. We saw some volatility a little bit this past Friday, but the thing is, the presidential race was the big determinant this week, the big key factor this past week. And because of that, because there was no clear president all week, we saw the US dollar drop, okay. But now that we see that Joe Biden has, won the presidency, then we should see the U.S. dollar rebound and come back up now. Okay, so I would probably be in the back of my mind be thinking to buy the U.S. dollar this coming week. Okay, but we're going to talk about it a little more here later. Okay, so to begin with, let's look at EURUSD right here. Okay, EURUSD. Here on the 30-minute chart, we see that the price ended higher than where it began, right? But only slightly. So more or less is in a flat range of market, but we had we had a drop in the beginning of the week and spiked back up and then spiked back down. And then by Friday it spiked back up again, okay? And so we see right now it's at a pretty strong level of resistance, so it should be going down now. But the thing is, will it continue to go down, or will it spike up even more? Okay, it's all kind of dependent on the U.S. dollar. What happens with the U.S. dollar right now? Now, if we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that we have a strong signal to sell. Okay, so if we look at the 30-minute chart, it says a sell. 4-hour shows a sell as well. So that means we hit a pretty strong resistance in the market. Okay, and I think that yes, this will be going down. If the US dollar goes up, this one will come down. Okay, so like I already said before, I think the US dollar will be going up. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. The daily chart says a sell. Okay, it's been saying that for quite a while. Okay, so we had a big rally up and now back down. So I think this will be going down. If we look at the weekly chart, okay, the weekly chart shows to sell as well. So what should we do this week? Okay, if we put the charts on a 30-minute time frame, I would be looking to sell. Okay, if the US dollar goes up, this one's going to be going down. So right now looks like a really good time to sell. I would not place a sell trade right this very minute. Once the market opens, I would wait a while, probably to about the London session, to place a trade. Okay, wait a while and see what the market's going to do. It might need to stabilize for a while. It might even go up a little more. I don't know. But definitely be looking to sell. So what you can do is, even the 1 hour shows the sell. Everything's showing the sell right now. So what I would do, I think it's going to be more or less a range of market. I don't see like a big jump in the US dollar. But what I would do is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, and just look for sell opportunities only, just to be safe. Okay. Now let's look at pound USD, okay, GBPUSD. Wow. So you see on a 30-minute time frame that we had a perfect case of a flat range of market here, where the price ended, a little bit higher than where it began, but we had a lot of highs and lows. Okay, if you're on a 30-minute time frame, this was a perfect opportunity to both buy and sell. Okay, which I had stated last week. Now we see here that we're at a strong level of resistance right now, okay, and we pretty much hit the same level of resistance that we hit before. If I mark that right there, we see, bam, we're right at the same level. Okay, so this is not by accident. Okay, pretty much all these patterns in the market are all pre-planned and predisposed of, right? So I don't think that, yes, the presidential election has a lot to do with it, but I think that in the background, these banks and market makers are actually have this all planned out. They know what's going on, right? So right now we hit a pretty strong resistance. So the question is it going to be dropping or is it going to keep going up? If we look at the 4-hour chart, look at this. Okay, the 4-hour chart hit a strong level of resistance here, and exact same as before. So yes, I feel very, very strongly that this will be going down. Okay, and this is an excellent pair to trade, by the way, because you can get a lot of profit off the pound. If we look at the dollar, okay, the dollar again shows the sell. Okay, so this is a clear indication that this will be dropping. Okay, and the weekly chart, now the weekly chart has an up arrow but no down arrow, but we notice that we have a red arrow here, which is pretty much the same spot right here. Okay, so long term this will be dropping in the coming weeks, maybe even coming months, I don't know. We're going to see a lot of range of markets for sure. We're not going to see a huge drop, but again, this week, we're looking at this week only. Okay, this week only we should see a steady drop in the Great British Pound. Okay, there's going to be a lot of highs and lows, but overall you should see the price drop more than, you know, go up for sure. So what I would do is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, okay, and look for sell opportunities only. Like right now looks like a pretty good time to sell, and like I already said before, I would wait, you know, wait a while after the market opens on Monday and then go ahead and place your trade. Okay, you can close it when you get the next blue arrow and then just wait for the next red arrow, okay, and repeat that process. Okay, but here for this particular pair, again, I would look for sell opportunities only, okay, for GBP. Moving on to Australian dollar versus US dollar, okay. We see kind of the same effect where the price ended higher, slightly higher than where it began, all right? So we had a drop here and then it spiked back up, okay. It's almost the same pattern we've already seen. And now the market is kind of just stuck right here at this resistance. So if we mark that resistance, we can see right here, okay, that yes, that's a pretty strong resistance. If we, let me shift the chart so you can see better, it has not broke, so right now would probably be a good time to sell. If we look at the 4-hour chart, bam, again we see that we hit a very strong resistance, okay, and right now would probably be, if you want, you could actually sell and just leave it for most of the week, okay. Now keep in mind that you probably will incur some swap fees along the way, but that is an, you know, an option on the table. If we look at the daily chart, okay, we have a red arrow, no blue arrow. So we had a big rally up, and now it's time for it to come back down. If we look at the weekly chart, again, we see we have a red arrow, but no blue arrow. So we need to be looking to sell the Australian dollar, US dollar this week, okay? So my recommendation is to keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, okay? And then look for sell opportunities only, okay? Sell on the red, close on the blue. Very simple, okay? And right now looks like a pretty decent time to place a sell trade, but again, I would wait a while after the market opens on Monday because there's going to be a lot of indecision in the market, okay? So just be patient on this one, but you definitely want to sell, okay? Moving on to US dollar Swiss franc. Now if these last three pairs we looked at are planned to be going down, US dollar should be planned to go up, okay? Now if we look here on a 30-minute chart, we see that the price ended lower than where it began, okay? So it's just the opposite of what we saw before, and it more or less was kind of moving in a sideways fashion, and then come the end of the week, it just boom, had a big drop down, okay? And we saw a slight spike right here with the non-farm payroll, but then it came right back down, okay? So like I said, non-farm payroll really didn't do much of anything to help the US dollar, okay? So it's all going to be dependent upon when the presidential election is over, okay? And like I already said, Joe Biden has now been, you know, the presumptive nominee, has been elected president, okay? So I know there's going to be a fight from the Trump side of the house, but we might as well just go ahead and say Biden's the president, right? So hopefully now, because we have a president in place, we should see the US dollar come back up now, okay? So that's what I'm planning on. If we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, again, we see the same exact thing we saw with the euro, the Great British pound, the Australian dollar. We see a strong support, okay? The other ones showed a strong resistance. We see a strong support down below, okay, right? So like I said, it's just the opposite effect. And if we look at the daily chart, same thing, okay? Daily chart shows a strong. That's pretty interesting. We got 2 blue arrows and no red arrows. So this is a pretty strong support right now. Now the US dollar could drop some more in the beginning, in the open of the market on Monday. So I would be leery of that, okay? But in the back of my mind, I want to buy the US dollar this week, okay? And now if we look at the weekly chart, look at this, look at this. We hit a very solid support, okay? So even the weekly chart is showing you to buy right now. So that's very, very good. So we know that the US dollar is going to be rebounding and coming back up. It's not going to be a huge spike up, okay? Do not think you're just going to make millions of dollars off of this one, okay? Because it's going to be a slow battle uphill, okay? Do plan on that, okay? But it should be going up this week. So what I would do if I was you, again, we're going to put the charts on a 30-minute time frame, and I would look for buy opportunities only, okay, just to be safe, because like I said, this should be going up for the most of the week. So right now it looks like an okay-ish time to buy, but again, I would wait a few hours, probably to at least the London session on Monday, and then place your buy trade, okay, and then close when you get the next red arrow, okay, and just repeat the process, okay. Wait for the next blue arrow and buy again. Now moving on to USD JPY, okay. This one just had a slow and steady trickle downhill, okay. So US dollar was weakened against the Japanese yen, which is okay. Now we see the price had, pretty much hit a strong support again. And what's going to happen here? Is it going to be going up? I think it will. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we hit a strong support. If we look at the daily chart, we hit a strong support as well. Okay, so that's pretty good. If you look at the weekly chart, okay, the weekly chart has been saying to buy for quite some time. The price has spiked up and then just trickled downhill, and now is at another strong level of support. So the US dollar has been wanting to go up for quite some time, and I'm thinking now, because we have a presidential elect in office now, we probably are going to see the US dollar rebound for the long term, okay? And this is overdue. Really, this is overdue. And there's been a lot of, from the pandemic and different things, but there's been a lot of turmoil with the US dollar. So now I think the US dollar would definitely strengthen and be going up for the most part. So what I would do if I was you, put this on a 30-minute time frame, okay? Put it on a 30-minute time frame and look for buy opportunities only. Although you probably can more or less buy and sell, because I don't think we're going to see a big spike up, okay? We're probably going to see a continuation of what we saw here. Like this was a slow trickle downhill, and we're going to see a slow trickle uphill, but we're going to have a lot of buy and sell opportunities along the way. It probably will be safe to both buy and sell, but to be safe, I would probably look for buy opportunities only, okay, just to be safe, okay. Moving on to US dollar, Canadian dollar. This one was interesting, okay, because both the Canadian dollar and the US dollar had good news this past Friday, okay, for the non-farm payroll and employment reports. So what's going to happen, both of these are expected to gain strength. So you're going to see a lot of fight between these two, okay? And we see here the past week we had more or less a flat range of market. The price did end lower than where it began. It spiked up, okay, and then it spiked back down. So the dollar is the weaker of the two in this particular week, this past week. What will happen this coming week? I think the dollar will overtake, okay? That's just my guess. I could be wrong, but we see right here on the 4-hour chart, okay, we have a strong signal to buy. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, again, we have a strong signal to buy. Okay, pretty much hit the same support that we hit before. Okay, I'm actually shocked there's not a double arrow here. Okay, it's a second blue arrow. Either way, we're pretty much at a strong level of support. If we look at the weekly chart, okay, we have a red arrow but no blue arrow, but that is but we see right here that we had a blue arrow before, which is almost the same support level we hit before. So there is, you know, presumably a blue arrow here, even though it does not show. Okay, so anyhow, pretty much all indicators right now are showing that USDCAD to go up. Okay, so what I would do, again, put your charts on a 30-minute time frame, look for buy opportunities only. You could buy and sell really with this one, because this, like I said, both of these are fighting to go up. Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you to buy or sell, but to be 100% safe, I think we should buy only. Okay, I'll kind of leave it up to you if you want to buy and sell, but I think the buy only would be the safest. Okay, because this should be going up for the long term. Okay, especially now that we have a president elected in the White House. So anyhow, if you have any questions at all about these predictions, or if you need me to look at another currency pair that I did not go over here, please hit me up on Facebook. I have a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Please contact me there first. Also, I have a link for my private Facebook group where you can request to join my Facebook group and post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. Okay, so with that said, I look forward to helping you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.